Hello and welcome to this edition of SFG Top Performance Podcast. Today I've got Scott and Mike with me. We'll talk about some grain and feed items. You know, price discovery in the grain markets used to be tied almost entirely to supply and demand numbers. And even though that's still important today, there's so many world influencers that's taking place. And, you know, the price of crude, the stock market, you know, which that's is as erratic as anything. And then, of course, world politics. And that politics thing is playing a bigger role all the time. Government reports still grab a lot of attention. And we saw that there on September 9th when they released the September supply and demand report, or the 12th, I'm sorry. Normally this report's kind of quiet, doesn't do a lot of things because everybody's waiting for the October report when there's usually more fireworks. But this time, you know, they were expecting a lower corn yield number and they got it. They dropped almost 3 bushel off. Played around with the demand side. We sometimes forget about that. We just see the production side and we base our decisions on that. But they're known anymore to play around to make that demand kind of match back up. But when they got done, they took 170 million bushel off the carryout, took us down to 1.219, which is considered bullish, but not critically bullish. You know, we get down closer to 1 billion, that's a big number. The big news came on the bean side, and the trade was expecting them to stay in that yield of 51.9 or maybe even a touch higher, which is record area. Of course, people in our neck of the woods are thinking, what in the world are you talking about? But they actually dropped at 1.4 bushel down to 50.5. And so that got the trade's attention. They also took 600,000 acres out. FSA had released their final numbers, and that showed the planting that did not take place up in the Dakotas. They also reduced the corn acres, a million acres. So that's where that came from. But the trade went right with that, and beans went up 75 cents on that day. Since then, we've given most of that back, and that's due to normal harvest pressure and the uncertainty of just what we're going to find out there. Give us a couple more weeks, and we'll start seeing some actual yield numbers, and I think we'll get a little more coverage out of that. U.S. beans remain very competitively priced in the world market. Exports are actually running well above expectations. Corn side's the opposite. We've only exported about half the corn we did a year ago, and most of that's due to the price. We're not competitive on corn. Now that Ukraine's moving corn out of their storage, they're $1.60 below us. And depending on where the product's going, the shipping can almost be cheaper for them also. So on the flip side, on the beans, South America is expected to ramp up their planting, maybe produce 800 million bushel more beans next year. So that would be pretty dramatic, and that would have an effect on the world markets, no doubt. So locally, we're starting to see a few combines move. I think another week, 10 days, we'll be getting toward the heart of harvest. A lot of beans are starting to look closer. Corn moisture levels are coming down. Basis levels had been high right up until about a week ago on corn, and they're starting to slip as we're seeing more new crop, particularly to the east, come into the marketplace. Beans, similar. The river market remains somewhat strong. The interior crush plants have lowered their basis a fair amount, trying to buy them beans at less money, even though they're making record profits. You know, maybe $2 a bushel right now on a crush. So, I guess I challenge you, if you need to move grain off the farm at harvest time, you might look at if you want to sell it, not store it. That might be better done earlier in the harvest this year than later. Should you want to store grain, we have ample space. We'll find you a home for grain. There's no doubt about that. And you just need to talk to us, keep us informed of what you want to do, and we'll work with you. With that, I'll turn it over to Scott. We'll talk feed.
All right, thanks, Mark. So like Mark said, the harvest season's getting upon us now, so hopefully you got everything ready to go. The next couple of weeks would be a good time to take care of some livestock chores to help you get ready for winter. Around Milo, we've been lucky enough to catch a few showers in the last couple of weeks. It wasn't much, but it greened the grass up and started some new growth. It also gave the weeds a kickstart. Right now is a good time to be spraying some pastures to take care of those weeds. They crowd the grass out and they rob valuable water. This year in particular, we don't need grass competing for water. Fall is also a great time to get some fertilizer on your hay fields. If we can put those fields to bed this fall with health and strength, then when the rain comes next spring, they will be ready to grow and produce. So now is a good time to get out in your cows and just take a look at them, make a good assessment of their health and condition. This is a good time to catch some potential problems before winter gets here. You can also make management decisions at this time, like this should be her last calf, or should I wean now, or maybe you think they can stay out there with some creep feed. So use this time of the year to your advantage. It's a lot easier, usually cheaper trying to do it now than it is trying to do it in the winter. Milo grain news, the mechanical side of the unload is complete. It's just waiting on power. The electricians are working hard at getting everything wired. With any luck, by the time you see this, everything will be running. They still need to do the loadout portion underneath the big bin, but that should go fairly quickly. So I think we're on track to have everything ready to go when you guys show up with corn now. So I just want to wish everyone a safe and headache-free harvest, and that's all I got today. Mike?
Okay, Scott, appreciate it. As you guys already know, with pastures short or almost no grass, and calves should be on creep if they're not, because most of you're deciding whether to wean now, wait and wean like you normally do later or whatever. But right now with the price of calves, if you don't have creep, you should be getting creep on them and helping mama get through. The reason for that is you can't play catch up on a cow. If a cow gets thin, you think, well, she ain't gonna calve till next spring. Well, by the time next spring comes, you still ain't caught up on her. So you can't play catch up. So watch the body condition of the cow, like Scott was saying. We got protein tubs, energy tubs you can get out there, and those tubs will help utilize the hay and grass that there is, and to get some body condition back on the cow before they get too thin. So when you get ready to wean calves, I just want to share something with you that we do have the Crystal X Brigade tubs, and you have options on stress feeds. So we can help you with either a complete feed that you can feed with hay. We got stress pellet, like a pound a day, that you can put in your mix. And we have a low inclusion, it's 1/4 pound a head a day meal product that you can top dress if you got just a few calves, or you can put in a TMR. And most of the studies have shown that if you put together a total stress program, like a stress feed, along with your feed and a tub, that at the end of 28 days, these calves that had the stress program were 40 pounds heavier. And you know what the price of calves are. So just remember, let's wean the calf, he's worth the gold, and let's take care of him so we don't have to spend money on shots, and you got harvest coming. So we'd be glad to help test your forages, help put together on what rations to feed for these calves. So call us and we'll get her done. On the mineral side, Kent has their booking on mineral in September. So tell us what you need for mineral, pay for it, and then you don't have to take it out till the end of October. On the Hubbard mineral, just let us know. We can do that anytime on the Hubbard mineral, the way we got that program set up. So again, as Scott said, we wish you a safe harvest. Please be careful. I know you get in a hurry, but please be careful, because one little slip can affect your health long term and so forth. So again, we appreciate your business, and please pick up the phone and call at any time. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. This wraps up this edition of the SFG Top Producer Podcast. We look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks. Thank you.